Atone!
The first trailers of Far Cry 5 led us to believe that Ubisoft was going to tackle a very sensitive subject. The story is about a group of Christian Americans that are basically extremists with guns terrorizing a remote part of America's Bible Belt. We were certainly very excited to see just how controversial this game really is.
There they are, the locusts in our garden. See, they've come for me. They've come to take me away from you. They've come to destroy all the...
Far Cry 5 starts off with some amazing looking cutscenes that set a much darker tone than other games in the series. You really start to believe that this is a very different Far Cry game. However, 15 minutes later, this happened. And no, we didn't add that music. Going from escaping a religious cult to collecting bull testicles for Testifest shows that the tone of this game is all over the place. One moment, you're being told to flee the town and get help as soon as possible, after which you spend the next hour fishing and performing daredevil missions. It's a problem more open-world games with a serious story suffer from, but here it's extra jarring.
Despite all that you have done, you are not beyond salvation.
You meet a lot of characters over the course of the game, but very few have a lasting impact. However, the main bad guy Joseph Seed is very convincing and creepy. He can stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the other charismatic villains the series is known for. We wanted to see the story through to the end mainly because of him.
Or the gates of Eden shall be shut to you, John. Yes, Joseph.
However, almost every other character we met along the way was nothing more than a bad stereotype. We get it, Ubisoft. Hope County is full of dumb, gun-loving Americans. Without going into spoilers, we have to say that the story ultimately doesn't deliver on its interesting premise. It's certainly a far cry from the dark tone that was presented in the first few trailers.
I can't say more. They're listening to everything we say. Listening for key words so they can zero in and blow us to smithereens.
The gameplay is more of the same, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Far Cry games are always fun to play as they provide lots of opportunity for chaos. You'll have a much better time if you treat Far Cry 5 as a fun open-world sandbox and don't take things too seriously. The developers did streamline a lot of the systems from previous games, which makes it a little easier for newcomers. You no longer have to climb radio towers and hunt animals for a bigger wallet. You can simply discover the map and take on quests at your leisure while trading animal skins for cash. You can also recruit an animal or person to follow you around, but the AI is so bad that we opted to play alone instead. It also has an online cooperative mode, which is great to make the generic missions a little bit more interesting.
I should be out there hunting this deputy, not watching over these people.
If there's one thing in which Far Cry truly shines, it has to be the graphics department. Hope County, Montana looks like a believable slice of rural America. The many forests, creeks, and huge stretches of farmland look absolutely stunning, and we stopped multiple times to admire a sunset. It's a pity that the wildlife isn't as menacing as in the previous games, but that's a logical consequence of the setting. The whole hunting aspect has been toned down anyway, which means you can walk around without the constant fear of being attacked by a tiger. Next to amazing graphics, Far Cry 5's other big improvement has to be the inclusion of Far Cry Arcade. This is the beefed up map editor that lets you create missions and play missions made by other gamers. It's a really awesome feature that's directly tied into the campaign.
Assault!
Completing missions in the Far Cry arcade will earn you perks and cash, which makes it a lot easier to level up your character. It's a great addition to the many side and story missions that are already in the game.
It's funny that in a place called Hope County, there are fanatics that believe the end of the world is coming.
Gamers who were expecting innovation from Far Cry 5 will be disappointed. It might look like a big departure from the series thanks to its dark story and new setting. However, it's simply another one of those with a few changes to streamline the gameplay. We certainly enjoyed our time in Hope County, but Joseph C. didn't manage to convert us into a believer. We give Far Cry 5 a 3 out of 5.
Marshal, take point. We're going right.
On it.
Stay on the path, rookie.
They're taking the father! They're taking the father!